Hey everyone, my name's Ken. Today I want to walk you through an outdoor project that unfortunately has fallen way short of quality and craftsmanship my wife and I expected. I won't be mentioning the company name just yet as we're giving them a chance to make things right, but if they don't, I'll make sure to name them to protect other homeowners and consumers in the greater Charlotte area from similar experiences. Let's start with the fireplace, which is one of the main focal points of this outdoor living project. As you can see in just a second, the stonework is just poorly done. You look at some of these areas where they just shoved rock in, blobs of mortar, not smoothed out. This is a access vent to the back, and you can see that was cedar, supposed to be cedar frame around that vent. Just sloppy work. You can see at the bottom they forgot to remove the paper that they were using so that the mortar didn't hit the concrete. Can't get that out. Just mortar stains everywhere. Little blobs. No brushes were used, no mason's brushes. Cut stone facing us. Mortar stains. Mortar up against this 2x6. We'll get to that in a second. This was my favorite. This one just kind of placed in there, no mortar. Not quite sure what they were thinking there. Again, mortar, globs of mortar. That's flagstone at the top. I'm not quite sure what they were thinking there. They should have just done one piece all the way across. So I anticipate these joints coming out at some point. Very uneven too. They said they're going to come back with a pressure washer and pressure wash this stone, which is man-made. I'm sure that'll strip off some finishing. You know, again, if they just paid attention to detail and used a mason's brush and sponge to wipe off excess as they were going along, that probably would have helped a great deal. All of this should have been caught by the project manager or the crew on site, but it wasn't. I do want to disclose that this fireplace was incorrectly installed at the very beginning, and I had to call upon one of my industry friends who's an expert, 45 years in the business in new construction. For their opinion, they confirmed what I found. The crew did not wrap the corners on both sides. It was only wrapped up to about the top portion right here. And you know, they didn't have the recommended application of a weather barrier, flashing, and lath that was that should have been secured using 1-inch nails. They used cheap staples, so they didn't follow Centurion Stone's installation manual for sure. And had I not caught this company's masons, if they had continued just to kind of stone up the fireplace, we would have never known what was underneath, and that would have just been major defects brewing that eventually could have caused a major hazard, you know, causing the stone to collapse over. To give them some credit, they made the mason redo the work. They were about a third way up the up this fireplace on the backside, but it's still sloppy work. Needs to be redone again. So let me talk about these 2x6s. So they put these in as a start. There's going to be louver walls on both sides of this fireplace, and I questioned it. I said, you know, so how are you supposed to paint in here when all this is said and done? This is nice too. Another cut piece just wedged in there, facing us, facing outward. Globs of mortar again. Big glob of mortar down there at the bottom. Big piece of stone sticking out. from all the others on the corner. So they're going to take these and remove them, and we decided we're going to go with 2x6 cedar. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll update you guys later. So just some close-up shots. This is the mantle area. It was installed not level. You can see there's an actual slope down, and it's lower on the right side. I brought it to their attention and they said that they fixed it. They didn't fix it. I've got everything on camera. They never even really touched it. They just put a piece of wood underneath, hoping that maybe the mortar would cure and it'd be fine. But that's not the case. The electric fireplace. That was not cheap. And I will just say that absolutely not handled with the least bit of care. They taped it up. Helene blew through here and basically ripped off a lot of the tape on the project. I'll get to that in a minute, but I actually asked them after it was installed if the electrician tested it, and the answer was no. So I said, okay. So speaking of the fireplace, the electrician used by this company ran 110 power versus 220, causing more delays by having them have to rip up our brand new bluestone. So we put bluestone in throughout this project. And I had to have my mason who did the bluestone come back and fix this. It just got fixed yesterday. But they ran 110 up this post and over, up and down. And they couldn't fish it because they stapled it up into the rafters. So they had to find a new way to come through. So the only way to do it was to trench and then get new power to the fireplace. Oh, back to the mortar. So you look up here at the top, the way they did this, you can see that they started on this side and then they didn't finish at the very end, leaving a huge gap at the top. And then again, just mortar all over in gobs. I actually watched here, they just took mortar with their fingers and just pushed it around this receptacle. This is a block for the to mount the TV that'll go above the fireplace. So not great work. And you can see down here, again, if they just used a mason's brush, they could have smoothed out all of this along the lip of the fireplace. And then gaps down here as well. Just mortar all over. Mortar stains. Again, should have used a brush as they were doing this, and they would have saved themselves a lot of heartache. Go slow. Take your time. So one of their crew said, oh no, this is the way it's supposed to look. It's dry stack. Well, it's great. It's dry stack, but you can use a mason's brush, which they didn't use. Never saw them use mason's brush. Never even saw them use a mortar bag. They just used a trowel, threw the trowel on the back of the stone and just slapped it up there. So let's go over here to the outdoor kitchen. This is where there's a lot of heartache. Problems don't stop at the fireplace. The stone on this kitchen island, also poorly installed, same guys. Stone wasn't aligned properly. Corners are uneven. Frankly, it looks rushed. We're talking about a significant investment here, and yet the attention to detail is completely missing. No regard for this stainless. They covered it before Helene. Helene ripped off what they put on poorly at that, and they never recovered it. interior of the outdoor kitchen. It's plywood, except for the one area where the beverage center will be. It's like a cement board. But you would think that, and I checked with a few of my friends, that most outdoor kitchens, they usually put some kind of coating down for moisture and rot protection. When they delivered the kitchen, they were missing pre-cut holes for drawers and storage underneath here, underneath the egg. That wasn't there. They had to come back out, cut that out. Same thing with these drawers here in storage. They had to cut that out. They secured these stainless with not the right screws. I actually fixed this myself with the right screws, self-centering washers. There was no grip with the screws they used. Poorly put on. Pull it right out. Same thing with this right here. This has wood screws on the left-hand side, like 2 screws that are at an angle just to kind of hold it in. Nothing to really secure it. It's actually still, pull it right out. This side's not secure. It's not secured there. The grill's not secured either. It's a 38-inch grill. I can basically wiggle it back and forth. Not secured. They'll probably tell me, oh, we're going to do that last. They didn't even take off the protective wrap on the stainless steel, the film, and they mortared right up against the film that's on the stainless steel. Again, just poor craftsmanship all the way around. Just gobs and gobs of mortar sticking out, big gaps. Same thing with the grill. Mortar just not smoothed out the least bit. Again, didn't take off the film and mortared and rocked right up against the protective film on the stainless steel. Didn't take that off. Same thing over here in this corner. Protective film, didn't take it off while they were putting the rock in. Rocked and mortared up against it. Not quite sure what they were thinking here with the vents. Now you need the vents to allow some airflow, dampening, but lots of mortar on the vents. I pretty much ruined these. No way they're going to be able to get those cleaned without ruining them. Again, globs of mortar. Same thing here. Just not smoothed out, really rough. Backside is not too awfully bad, but again, take a sponge or take a mason's brush and just brush that out. Save yourself some time. Here you can see the metal lath in these cracks, so not quite sure. Again, attention to detail. Some of the stone cuts are off, but not terribly bad on the back. But who's going to be back here looking at the back? You're going to see everything from out here, right? Again, I don't know what they're thinking here. Just stick a piece of rock in there, and cut side is facing outward. More of the paper they left underneath that's wedged between the bluestone and the rock. Looks crappy. Another big mortar glob. Same thing over here. This is supposed to be a quick connect gas line that you can pull. It's really loose, not strapped at all. So, and then there's the countertops. So the granite counters, multiple issues with these as well. They were initially delivered as polished, and we asked for leathered finish. I also caught this error on my way out for an appointment, and had I not caught it, these would have been installed only to be taken off and more delays. They did bring the counter back the next week as promised, but the counter was honed, not leathered. So we just decided to accept it. It looks good. I like the way it turned out, but would have preferred to have leathered. So I just want to say that I've been involved with the building industry for over 20 years. I served on my board of my local home builder association, and have worked very closely with builders and tradespeople, and I've seen firsthand what quality work looks like, and this is not it. We feel duped, and we also feel like we were sold a bill of goods. So as homeowners, we all deserve better than this, and what you're seeing here, especially when when homeowners are paying a premium for what should be custom outdoor living space. For any of you watching who might be going through a similar situation, know that you have options. We've been looking into them. If you find yourself in a situation like ours where your GC or the tradespeople aren't delivering the quality they promised, don't feel powerless. There are legal resources available to you. Depending on your state, there are protections in place for homeowners in North Carolina dealing with substandard work, or what they call breach of contract. You can file complaints with your state's licensing board, take legal action, or even work with a third-party mediator to resolve disputes. So at this point, by the way, you can still see, the cement board in the back along the edges here. So at this point, everything's documented. We're giving the contractor one last chance to make this right. We'll be requesting that they take down all the stonework and start again. Their masons are not allowed on our property. We do not want the same masons. That will be made very clear. And if they don't, we'll be publicly naming them and pursuing other avenues to hold them accountable. So for those of you who've been through something similar, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. What would you do in this situation? Would you accept patchwork fixes, or demand that they actually redo the work? Your feedback is going to be invaluable as we move forward. So I'll keep you updated on how this situation unfolds, but for now, let this serve as a reminder. As homeowners, we have the right to demand quality, expect our contractor to deliver what's promised, and hold them accountable when they fall short. So I'm hoping we can resolve this without further issues, but if not, I'll be here to share my full experience and name this company behind this work. One last thing on a very positive note, we're using a company called Dwell Outdoor, and they design and build mechanical pergola systems made by Structure. I actually met those guys down at the International Builder Show earlier this year. They've done an amazing job. True professionals who take pride in their workmanship, and I highly, highly recommend them. I can't wait to see how this is going to pop once they get those louvers that are sitting over there installed. And by the way, the electrician on the other part of this job, we tried to engage him to get him to do all the electrical, and he fought with Dwell, and Structure said the wiring was not code compliant. Fought us. Absolutely fought us on that. And we got reassurance through the electrician that does work for Dwell and Structure North Carolina here in Charlotte. They actually contacted the Met County Code Department, and in fact, their wiring is compliant. So not only did that electrician miss out on additional income, but he was absolutely wrong about what they do and how they do it. So thanks for watching this video. Love your comments in advance. Thank you for your comments in advance, and make it a great day.